Hello, my name is Yasuyuki Nakamura from Nagoya University, Japan. I'm one of the Japanese translator of Stack, and also we developed Math Input Interface for Stack, which is included in the case study booklet published by Chris. The title of my today's talk is Sharing Experiences Using Stack Connected from Sakai through LTI. This work is collaborated with my colleague, Mr. Nakahara, who is an engineer from Sangensha LLC. And I would like to thank Miss Ito and Miss Fujimoto, who are my students, for helping me create questions for Stack. This is the contents of my today's talk. Firstly, I'm talking about my motivation, why I use LTI to access to Stack. And let me briefly show what LTI is. Then I'm showing how I set up Moodle and Sakai. After that, let me show a couple of examples of use of Stack from Sakai. Lastly, I mention about some small difficulties and summarize my talk. Let me talk about motivation, why I use LTI to access Stack. I have a calculus class with 70 students and marked assignments by hand for first 4 weeks. Actually, it takes hours to mark, and I would like to automate where I can automate. Namely, I thought about using e-assessment system for mathematics. Nagoya University's official learning management system is Sakai, and there is no plugin for e-assessment for mathematics, as far as I know. On the other hand, I have a Moodle server with Stack outside the university. Therefore, I could have students use the server. But I didn't want students to have more ideas. Then I decided to use Stack from Sakai through LTI. Then what is LTI? LTI, Learning Tools Interoperability, is an education technology specification developed by the EAMS Global Learning Consortium. It specifies a method for a learning system to invoke and to communicate with external systems. For example, LMS may use LTI to host course content and tools provided by external systems on a website without requiring a learner to log in separately on the external systems. So let me show how I set up LTI connection from Sakai to Moodle. I set Moodle as LTI provider, which provide course of Moodle, and I set Sakai as LTI consumer, from which students can access to Moodle. For the preparation as a provider for Moodle, firstly, LTI plugin should be switched on in the Manage Authentication page. Then, Publish as LTI tools should be switched on in the Manage Enroll Plugins page. After the setting, I moved to my course page and receive information for LTI connection. Some of this information should be copied and pasted on the LTI consumer site. Next is the preparation as a consumer for Sakai. Firstly, External Tools tab in the Site Info page should be opened. Then, by clicking on the Install LTI 1.1 tool link, information should be filled in. Tool title is the name of external tool that are currently set, and any name can be allowed. Bottom text is the name that will appear on the sidebar. This window is a continuation of the previous page. I didn't switch on this check mark because my Moodle server is located outside the university network, and I didn't want any personal information of students to be stored in the external server. This window is also a continuation of the previous page. Launch URL and secret key is copied and pasted. Lastly, tool link should be set by clicking Create Tool Link. We can select the name of the tool link which we created. Then, by switching on the Add Site link, the tool button stack can be created. Now we can connect stack by selecting this button. As you can see, Moodle site is shown inside Sakai, and now students can use stack without being prompted for a password. Let me show some examples of use of stack from Sakai. This is a sample question of differentiation of exponential function. Submitted answer is assessed correctly. Next is an example of the access to stack from Sakai by using iPhone. Not Safari but Google Chrome is used as a browser. Students can submit an answer and submit handwritten notes by clicking this camera icon and by taking a photograph of the notes. If students use iPad, they can submit notes too. When they click on the notes icon, the notepad is opened on another tab, and the students can write calculation to the device directly with a tablet pen. So far, students can use stack without big problem, but some difficulties should be mentioned. Firstly, sometimes we can't access to stack from Sakai, being prompted for a username and password for authentication. This problem happens when we use Safari on browser, on Mac, iPad, and iPhone. In order to check available environments, we summarize the accessibility to stack from several devices and browsers. As a result, we can use Google Chrome on any devices, and it is most certain to use Windows. The other small difficulty is to merge students' grade. To tell the truth, I can't find a way to merge students' grade on Moodle into Sakai. Then I made a mapping table between students' ID on Sakai and Moodle account. Then I can merge students' grade by using this mapping table, which is actually not so a troublesome work, but it's not automatic work. Let me summarize today's talk. We prepared an environment where students can access to stack from Sakai, that is the official university's LMS. There are some restrictions to access stack from Sakai. For example, Safari on Apple's devices. There is no students who can't access stack. Students are happy to use stack because of instant feedback. For grading in the end of semester, results of marking on stack should be merged to grade sheet on Sakai by using mapping table between students' ID on Sakai and Moodle account. Thank you for your attention.